Florida Republican Michael Waltz is with us now, sits on the House Armed Services Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee. Sir, good morning, too. Got a number of things to talk to you about.
Yeah, morning.
The wheels of justice grind slowly here in New York, I tell you. I think we had 3.5 days of court last week. It looks like maybe 3.5 days this week, maybe 3.5 days next week. Right now, they're arguing on this defense expert witness. Eric Sean just mentioned his name, Brad Smith. I don't know if he's going to be allowed to testify or not, but what is your state of affairs as you see it from afar right now?
Well, Bill, you nailed it. As the wheels of justice crawl along every day that this drags on, President Trump isn't out on the campaign trail where he should be. And I was there last week, and Bill, the thing that jumped out at me was seeing Biden's #3 official from the Department of Justice, who should be up in Washington doing whatever DOJ does, but instead is on a leave of absence and sitting in a New York municipal courtroom just feet away from the man, Donald J. Trump, who is ahead in 5 out of 6 swing states. And if that isn't the poster child for what this is, which is election interference, I don't know what is. Why is the DOJ helping out a local DA? Do they not want this to turn out how Fani Willis in Georgia turned out? I think that's the question all of us should be asking.
In addition to that, over the weekend, there was news out of Iran when there was a diplomatic mission from the Iranian officials to Azerbaijan. On the way back, there was a helicopter crash confirming by them today, late last night, that Raisi, the leader, well, not the supreme leader, but the president, he was killed in that crash along with the foreign minister. Here's what Dan Hoffman said about that earlier today.
I think we're going to see the continuation of the general contours of Iranian foreign policy, meaning domestic repression, carrying on support to Hamas and their so-called axis of resistance against Israel and the United States, and then fortifying their relationship, their alliance with this new axis of tyranny, Russia, China, and North Korea.
So if that continues, what do you think the Biden administration should do now?
Well, first, I just want to say good riddance to Raisi. No one should be shedding a tear for the butcher of Tehran that was responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of dissidents as a prosecutor, and then, of course, shooting schoolgirls in the street, literally, in the Masa Amini protest, the girl who was murdered by state police for not wearing a hijab. So good riddance to Raisi. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. The president is more like a chief operating officer. It's the Ayatollah that really matters. The thing to watch, though, is the secession plan for the Ayatollah. If we're going to see drastic changes in Iran, if we're going to see internal stability, the Ayatollah is quite elderly, could die at any minute. Raisi was seen as a key part in helping with the transition to the Ayatollah's son. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. But in terms of just replacing the president and major shifts in Iranian policy, I don't see major changes. To answer your question, Dana, the thing the administration should be doing is making the regime worry about its own internal stability. The thing the regime cares the most, more than destroying Israel, more than supporting terrorism, is its own internal survival. And the thing it needs to do that is cash. So we should be enforcing the sanctions, going back to maximum pressure, making the Ayatollah's inner circle wonder, maybe there's some infighting there, wonder how secession's going to go. And the more Iran has to look internally, the more it's scared about its own stability, then the less time, effort, and energy it has to attack Israel and support terrorism and destabilize the world.
Well, it's obvious that the Trump team had a different take on Iran and how it wanted to deal with it than the Biden team went back to the days of the Obama administration, where they want to have a relationship with this regime. And you're right about the Ayatollah. He pretty much calls the shots, and it looked like he was trying to prop Raisi up. But that now will end. You called him the butcher of Tehran. Jillian Turner reports from the State Department that Iran executed 853 people last year, many of them women and teenagers, political dissidents among them. This year, more than 200 people have been executed so far, including 2 women just 2 days ago, Congressman.
No, that's right. And they didn't just disappear, as awful as that is, into some state prison. Many of them were hung in the streets. Children, teenagers to send a message to the schoolgirls that were daring to protest the regime. So this regime's brutality cannot be overstated. Yet we just had a senior administration official, Brett McGurk, secretly meeting with the regime in Oman just a few weeks ago. So the concessions appeasement approach from this administration just doesn't seem to be changing. They have to do a 180 on their Iran policy, and that would solve so much in terms of Gaza, Hezbollah, and the Houthis and the instability in the regime. Go back to maximum pressure and make the regime worry about its own survival and its own financial stability.
One practical thing they could do to make them worry about their stability is to take down as much as possible or to be able to help provide actual internet access, free internet access to people where they are not being censored, because some of the things that were coming out yesterday from Iran, the ridicule about the regime, the desire for people to get their information out, to find out what's happening in the world, and for all of us to hear from them, that is one practical thing that they could do. And quickly, I'll give you the final word on that.
Well, that's right. The protest with Mahsa Amini started with the Kurds, our friends with the Kurds, and we should be helping our friends. Yet they can't even get a meeting with Biden's State Department. And secondarily, Dana, we passed the SHIP Act, which would put secondary sanctions on Chinese buyers of Iranian oil. You put those sanctions in place, you dry up the oil. 90% of illegal Iranian oil is going to China. And again, you go back to that maximum pressure and you will solve the problem.
Congressman, thank you for being with us this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It.
Thank you. We'll talk again soon. Michael Waltz, a Republican from Florida.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.